स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of chanting of Devi Mahatmyam or Chandi or Durga Saptashati, and also the simple meaning of this text. We shall now begin this study by chanting one of the meditation verses on Mother Chandika. Chandika Dhyanam. या चण्डी मधुकैटभादिदैत्यदलनी या चण्डी मधुकैटभादिदैत्यदलनी या माहिषोन्मूलिनी या माहिषोन्मूलिनी या धूम्रेक्षणचण्डमुण्डमथनी या धूम्रेक्षणचण्डमुण्डमथनी या रक्तबीजासनी या रक्तबीजासनी या शक्तिशुम्भनिशुम्भदैत्यदलनी या शक्तिशुम्भनिशुम्भदैत्यदलनी या सिद्धिदात्री परा या सिद्धिदात्री परा सा देवी नवकोटिमूर्तिसहिता सा देवी नवकोटिमूर्तिसहिता मां पातु विश्वेश्वरी मां पातु विश्वेश्वरी सा देवी नवकोटिमूर्तिसहिता सा देवी नवकोटिमूर्तिसहिता मां पातु विश्वेश्वरी मां पातु विश्वेश्वरी। In the last session, we had completed the kavacha, the armor which protects every part of our body, and there are different aspects of Divine Mother which protects all these different parts of our body. That was called Chandi Kavacham, or the armor. After that, we also talked about the resolve or sankalpa. Why am I chanting this? We had gone to the detail of it in the last session. Then in that sankalpa, we gave about there are different sankalpas for the householders and the saints, that is the sannyasins. So I talked about that too. Then in the last session, I also gave you about the Shapodhara mantra. Some of the traditions, they chant that mantra. I had also put on that recording. It is there in the last session. From today, we shall start at the beginning of this Durga Saptashati, the first chapter, Pratama Adhyayaha. So, Pratama Charitram, it's called Ataha Pratama Charitram. And since this Pratama Charitra is called Mahakali, it is dedicated to Divine Mother, that this Durga Saptashati can be divided into Mahakali, Mahasaraswati, Mahalakshmi, these three aspects of the Divine Mother. So this first chapter is dedicated to Mahakali. So it begins with the meditation on Mahakali. It is called Mahakali Dhyanam. Now, where does this word Kali come from? The word Kali comes from the word Kala. What is meant by Kala? Kala means time. So the word Kala is time. That's why Shiva's another name is called Mahakala. That is, he is the controller of time. That's why you can see on the head of Lord Shiva, he has the moon. So moon is indicative of the varying days, the tithi, the time every day, the waxing and the waning moon. You can see that is giving us the tithi, 15 days of the dark fortnight, then the bright fortnight, Shukla Paksha, then the Krishna Paksha, whereby there are 15 tithis in that. So they are all the different details of that month. Let us not go into that. So there, moon is indicative of time, not only of time, but also of our mind. So here, the name Kali comes from the word Kala. Maha means great. So now, the first meditation of Mahakali in this first chapter or Charitram is Mahakali Dhyanam. Dhyana means meditation. So now here in this verse, which is on the meditation on Mahakali, now we describe Divine Mother Kali. What is that? Om Khadgam Chakra Gadeshu Chapa Parighan Shulam Bhushundim Shiraha Shankham Sandhadatim Karaistrinayanam Sarvanga Bhushavratam Yam Hantum Madhukaita Bhau Jalaja Bhustustava Supte Harau Nilashmadyutimasya Padadashakam Seve Mahakalikam. That is the way we have to pronounce this mantra, the meditation. Now, I will break it into different parts. If I now teach you how to sing it, you may not catch the pronunciation. That's why I will now take you through the chanting of this mantra slowly. Please repeat the mantra after me. Om, please repeat that. Om Khadgam Chakra Gadeshu Chapa Parighan Shulam. See, you should know the difference between Sa and Sha. As I told you many times, Sa is you are using only the tongue. Then Jihva, tongue means. Then here, while the chanting differs, it is Sha. So now the tongue is touching the teeth, Dantavya. Then sometimes we touch the tongue to the palate, upper palate, so that is called Murdhanya. Then that words are called Murdhanya. What is that? Sha. So see the difference? Sa, Sha, Sha. They are the three different letters, alphabets in the Vyanjana or consonants. So in English, they may not teach you about all these different pronunciation, where it comes from, the origin. But in Sanskrit it is so scientific. They will tell you what is this vowel, why is it called vowel, why is it called consonant, where does it start, how does the sound come out. Everything is so scientifically done. I will touch base it a little so that you will get interest in Sanskrit language. Otherwise, if I go to the details, then you may start sleeping now. Grammar is very, very difficult. You have already come through the grammar portion in English, so let me not take you through the grammar only. I will be touch basing it a little so that you get some interest. Now here the pronunciation, see on the yes, they have put one like a horn going up. So that is indicative of you should pronounce it as Sha. So here it is not Sulam, S-U-L-A-M, because of that horn like thing which is there upon it, it is Shu, Sha. Then on U, there is one more line indicative of it is elongation, Dirgha. So in the vowel, there are two type of vowels in Sanskrit. For example, the first vowel is A. Then the second is A. So now A is we are using only 1 unit of time. 1 unit of time is called Matra. So if we use just 1 unit of time, it is called Hrasva. If we use 2 unit of time, it is called Dirgha. So A, I, U, U. These are all the vowels. So 2 types of vowels are there. Hrasva, short, Dirgha, long, elongated. Then Pluta, very much elongated, 3 and more unit of time. See, now you can see how vowels are differentiated here. Okay. Now here, if on that letter there is one line on the head like this, it is to be elongated. How is to be pronounced? Shulam. On the yam there is one dot. So the dot indicates it is nasal sound. So Shulam. Okay, now you got a little knowledge about pronouncing that. So because it's a phonetical, English alphabets have come from the Roman alphabets. English doesn't have its own alphabets. They have borrowed it from Roman script. So the grammar is not so scientific and it is not phonetical. They will write something and they will pronounce something in English. But in Sanskrit and most of the Indian languages like Hindi and any other Indian language, what they write, they pronounce exactly. But in English, you can see everything is silent, everything will be pronounced in a different way. If C-U-T, it is cut, then you don't pronounce P-U-T as put. You will tell put. Why? No answer. B-U-T, but no answer. It is so different. Now you can see one of the teacher asked the student to heat her food, the tiffin carrier she had carried there. So now she wanted to take the food during the lunch time. She asked her to keep it in the oven, heat it and bring it. So before that, while the class was, English class was going on, she had asked about some of the pronunciation. When she asked, she told those letters are silent, you should not pronounce it. Now, she asked her to heat that food. She went, she bought the empty tiffin carrier. Why is it? Madam, I thought H is silent, so I ate it, eat it, I heard it as eat it. So I ate the food. So like that you see the pronunciation goes on varying. We write something and we tell something in English. That's why it is aphonetical. Some Hindi speaking people in UP, they were complaining about English. ये क्या लोग है, लिखता है कनौ लड्गे और बोलता है knowledge. KNOW is कनौ. LED led, GE गे. वो लिखता है कनौ लड्गे, हिंदी लोग बोलता है, ये लिखता है कनौ लट के और बोलता है knowledge. कैसे होता है? So, like that, it is so confusing. But in Sanskrit, it is not so. Whatever you write, you pronounce that, you utter that. Whatever you utter, then you go back to the same thing. That's why the American English, they are little away from the British English. So they want to make it more phonetical. That's why C-O-L-O-R, they will write. If in English we have C-O-L-O-U-R, program, P-R-O-G-R-A-M-M-E in the British English, now they are changing it. Everything is being changed, whatever that might be. Now, that is the way we have to pronounce it. Everything is phonetical here in Sanskrit. So, in English, because it is not giving the same idea, then to give that idea, now all these circuses are being made. If you put one line on you, that means you have to elongate. That is shu, the 2 unit of time. So that is to be taken care of. Next word after the shulam, bhushundim. See, when you are uttering the mic, it makes a sound, bhu. So that is mahaprana. Now the lung power is used too much here. In some of these things, for example, instead of telling bhu, I will tell bu. See, the lung power is very less. So, in consonant, there are 2 types of consonant. What is this? Alpa prana. I use less lung power, that is alpa prana. If I use more lung power, it is called mahaprana. So, here it is bhu. So, see, more energy from the lung, from the depth of the lung it is coming. So that is in the consonant, it is a different vyanjana, different pronunciation. So it is not bhu, it is bhu. Then shu, bhushundim. That is the way we have to pronounce. So now we will go for the pronunciation again. Om khadgam, chakragadeshu, chapa, parighan, shulam, bhushundim, shiraha, shankham, sandhatatim, karaistrinayanam, sarvanga, bhushavratam, yam, hantum, madhukaita bhau, jalajabhu, stustava, supte, harau, Neelashmadhyuti, masya, padadashakam, seve, mahakalikam. So this is the meditation verse on Divine Mother Kali. So what is it telling? What is the meaning of this? I resort to Mahakali. I serve. Seve means I will serve Mother Kali, I will worship or I will surrender. I resort to Mahakali. What is her form? How is she looking? At who has 10 faces, 10 legs, and holds in her hands the sword, disc is chakra, Sudarshana chakra. Sword is, khadga means sword. You know what is sword. Disc is chakra, mace is gada, arrows, bow, club, spear, missiles, human head and conch. And she is 3-eyed. She has 3 eyes, 2 eyes that which we have, and the 3rd eye here, even Lord Shiva is having that. So that is the eye of knowledge. So who is 3-eyed, adorned with ornaments on all her limbs, and luminous like a blue jewel. The color of Divine Mother is dark. Kali is very dark in color. So her body is shining like a blue jewel, and whom Brahma, the creator, extolled in order to destroy the two demons Madhu and Kaitabha, when Vishnu was in mystic yogic sleep. Now, you can see in Hinduism, lot of deities, you will get lot of gods and goddesses with so many hands, so many heads, so many things. What does that mean? So many legs, so many hands. Is there any reason for it? So some people may think it is unbiological. No, it is not that. The idea behind having so many permutation and combinations of hands and legs and so many arms in the hands, it will show us that each god and goddesses, they represent some ideal for us. You see something holding there, the Lord or God or Goddess is holding something in the hand, Trishula. Lord Shiva will be holding Trishula. What does that mean? He is a controlling. See, there are three spears in it, Trishula. Now, why is it? What is it representing? He is a controller of three guna, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So like that, everything here, the gods and goddesses, when they are holding something, it represents some character or ideal. So that is the idea. So many, see, there was such beautiful mathematics which was not even present in the modern day. 50, 100 years back, you didn't have that mathematics at all. But permutation and combination and progression and everything we can see in the our rishis and munis, they were so forward in mathematics. Even they knew about Pythagoras theorem. Everything is there in our scriptures. All these things were there. Later on, it went through Arabia to Europe. That's why it is called Hindu-Arabic numerals. So all that is very similar. So through India, mathematics, astronomy, astrology, all these things traveled to other countries. So you can see so much of mathematics here. The permutation combination is already there. Now let us come to what is this so many hands? What is this so many things? So I will just give you one example to show you that what they represent, what is the ideal. Let us take the much feared, one of the deities, the demigod in the Hinduism, that is amongst the 9 planets. We have one planet. What is that? Saturn. Do you know what is? Some of the South Africans keep that name. Shanil, Shanitama, Shanai, that comes from the word Saturn's Shanaishchara. Shanaihi Charaha. He moves very slowly in our calculation, in our houses, how he comes now. This Shani, or that Lord Shani, or the god, that Graha, the planet, in his hands he holds, what is the weapon he is holding? Anybody? Anybody knows what is the weapon held by Shani? Broom. What do you use the broom for in your house? To sweep your house. And what is the mount on which Shani is sitting? See that each god and goddesses, they have some mount. Ganesha has a rat, Mushika Vahana. Then Saraswati, Hamsa Vahana. Lord Shiva, Nandi, the bull. Now what is the mount of Shani, the planet? Anybody? Crow. You very rarely find in South Africa. One aspect of that is raven. So crow, in India you find lot of crow. If you go to a temple near Durban, that lot of crows are there. Anywhere else, if they are there, I think they shoot it down. Only near the temple I saw that black crows. If you go to near Durban, one temple, Hindu temple, near that I saw many crows. So now, crow is the mount or Vahana of Shani. Now, if you will be surprised, what is this? Why is that god or demigod or Shani is holding broom in one hand and is sitting on crow? Any reason? See, now you will get what is he representing. Now, all the planets, what do? Now, we all human beings commit so many types of karma, actions, good and bad. So, all these gods and goddesses are just like some officers or officials. Just like when somebody commits a crime or does something, The lawyer will now take it to the judge, and finally the judge, through some sections, legal sections, he will tell according to this section, he has to get this punishment. So the judge only gives you the punishment. Why? Is he now punishing you or is he giving you trouble? Not at all. Whatever mistakes I have committed, he just brings you through that legal section, some punishment, jailing you or punishing you or something will be given. Likewise, all these planets, they are like these officials. They will only bring your karma, good or bad, at that time to you. That's all. So nobody can punish you, nobody can hurt you, nobody can give you good or anything like that. It is only your karmas, your work, which will bring you good or bad result. So you are responsible for everything in your life. God will never punish you. We have a wrong concept. People and parents will teach us, especially the children, that God will be sitting with something, a scepter, and if you do some mistake, He will punish you. Then you will start hating God. God doesn't punish you at all. He's a witness. He's an eternal witness. He will give you all the things in this world. You are getting everything good or bad because of your work you do. That's why you can make your future, good or bad. Whatever you do now will decide your future. So your future is in your hand. Nobody can punish you, nobody can destroy you. Only your work, your thought, your deed will bring you good or bad deeds. But now, why is Shani having the broom in his hand? He's only representing a character, a guna, a quality by which he's telling, what do you use the broom for in your house? To clean your house, to clean your room. You are using the broom, isn't it? Likewise, Lord Shani is showing through that broom, I am cleaning your internal system mind. By bringing in all the difficulties and punishment and other things, I am cleansing your karma. That is the idea of having a broom in his hand. Then why is he sitting on the mount, the crow? What is it representing? What is the quality he is showing us? Now, what does the crow do in India? If you go, you can find it. Now, there in India, they will throw all the waste food materials, dirt and other things to the outside place in the village or in the town. What do the crow do? They eat all that thing or cleanse the town. It cleanses the town. So by having the mount of the crow, this god Shani is showing that I am going to clean your exterior, external thing. So internal cleansing, external cleansing will be done by me. All your karmas and other things I will bring it to you at that time. I cleanse your mind, I cleanse your body, and then I will make you turn towards God. When do you remember God? Only when you get some difficulties. When everything is cozy and everything is good, do you remember God? You will not. You will only remember God only you have some problems and difficulties and challenges. So by bringing all these karmas and everything, He cleanses you and He will turn you towards knowing what is the reality or the truth behind this creation. See what a wonderful concept. By just studying one quality of a God, so you have got that. Go on meditating, go on thinking, all the different aspects of these things, you will find there is so much of meaning. Each god and goddesses, they represent some character, some quality, which we have to, when we meditate on them, when we worship on them, those qualities will come to you. That is the idea. Now you have got an inkling of what so many things, so many hands and other things. Now let us see. Okay, before that, I have to take you through one story. All of you know there was one kingdom called Vijayanagara kingdom in southern part of India. It ruled India for more than 300 years. So during one of that reign, which was started by one of the Shankaracharya, it ruled half of the central and up to the middle of India. Now, that Vijayanagara empire, there was a great king called Krishnadevaraya. In his court, there was very special courtier, a minister, who was also a poet, not only just an ordinary poet, he was also a witty poet. So how did he become a witty poet, wit and a poet, both that? I was a small child. He was a Brahmana by caste. He was in lot of poverty. So much of poverty that he didn't have much food to eat, or he had to beg, and he used to have lot of problem. He went to a saint and asked, what should I do? Then told to come out of this poverty, and he also wanted to get lot of education. He doesn't have money. He has to study. So now it needs money. He wants education. He wants to become a great poet. Now he couldn't get it because he was in dire poverty. So he went to the saint. The saint gave him a mantra of this Mother Kali. There are different aspects of Divine Mother Kali. One is malevolent or fierce aspect of and bad character people, that is very fierce and malevolent. It is called Smashana Kali. She resides in the graveyard or the cremation ground. So that Guru or the saint gave him one mantra to this Tenali Ramakrishna, who was just at that time 6 or 7 years old, a small boy. If you chant this mantra in the midnight in the graveyard, sitting there on this Kali, Smashana Kali, you will get the vision of the Divine Mother. Pray to her, then she will give you knowledge. You will become a great person. You will get lot of knowledge, and you can become a great poet. You know, there was one more great poet in Sanskrit, Kalidasa. He too was a shepherd, and he was dull and unintelligent. He too got that highest intelligence. He is even greater than Shakespeare. He has written books and other things. So he was even greater than, in Sanskrit, he is greater than our Shakespeare. So he too got this intelligence by Divine Mother Kali. Now here, the dead of the night, when he has chanted and chanted, he had the vision of that fierce aspect of Mother Kali. If anybody, even the demons or the ghosts, see that form, they will get so frightened, they will run away or they will die there. Then what about a human being, that to a child, night in the graveyard, what would be his condition? But instead of after seeing that fearful form of Mother Kali, the Smashana Kali, the graveyard Kali, instead of fainting or crying or running away, he started laughing, smiling, looking at that form. So many heads, so much of that lolling out that tongue, Kali form, opening the tongue, big tongue, and blood curdling things everywhere you will see, and anybody will get frightened. But this boy of 6 or 7, instead of getting frightened, he started laughing and smiling, and so much so that he fell down on the ground. He started catching hold of his stomach and rolling on the ground with laughter. Now it was the turn of Mother Kali herself to be surprised. All the other people would get afraid of me. This fellow, why is he laughing at me? Now this mother had hundreds of faces and hundreds of hands, and looking at that, he's smiling and laughing and falling down. Then the mother got curious. What is this? He is smiling at me. Hey, boy, lad, get up. Why are you smiling at my form? Then this boy stood up, 6 or 7 year old, Tenali Ramakrishna. He got up and told, Mother, see, when I was a small child, my mother used to look after me, baby. So in olden days in India, you see that due to viral infection, flu, you get flu. So I would get cold and flu. And at that time, so much of phlegm in your nose, you will be having always so much of tissue paper. When I was a small child, I used to get flu or cold. She has to always be cleaning my nose. So Ganga in one nose and Yamuna in another nostrils, it will be coming out, and my mother will be always cleaning that. Now how much of difficulty my mother has to face when I was a small child, cleaning my nose, when I had cold and cough. Now you have 100 faces and 100 nose or 1,000 this thing. If you get cold, how will your mother take care of? What will be the condition, pathetic condition of your mother if you get cold and so much of phlegm is coming? So thinking of that, imagining that, I got laughter and I am rolling on the ground with laughter. The mother also started laughing at this boy and told, what do you want? You are doing all this tapasya for getting lot of intelligence. So you will not only become a great poet, you will become a witty poet also. She gave the boon and vanished. That is the story of this life. He became a great poet and he was a great wit also in that kingdom of Krishna Devaraya. Whatever that might be, that is a very funny story. But what is the meaning of so many hands and other things of Divine Mother Kali? Let us go to that. The meaning is, I resort to Mahakali who has 10 faces. That is, being in one place, she can see, she can perceive, know and communicate everywhere. That is the idea. 10 faces means don't literally think that 10 faces unbiological and other things. The idea is, who has 10 faces, that is, being in one place. She is all pervasive, she is everywhere. Now she has taken a form. Being in one place, can see, she can perceive, know and communicate everywhere. What is the meaning? What is that English word for that? She is omnipresent. The word is called omnipresent, and another word is omniscient. Omnipresent you can understand. She is present everywhere. What is omniscient? She can know everything. She is knowledgeable. That is the idea. So she is omnipresent, omniscient. That is the idea of 10 faces. Okay? Then what about this 10 legs? Why does she have 10 legs? She has limitless capacity to move in various ways, reach any place in no time. Think of her, meditate on her, call on her, she is there. She can present, manifest herself anywhere at any time. That is the idea of having 10 legs. And she is holding in her hands, 10 hands, the sword, discs, mace, arrows, bows, clubs, spear, missiles, all those things. That means she is all powerful, all capable. What is that English term for that? Omnipotent. So when you hear the word describing anything as omnipotent, means all powerful, all capable. That is the idea. When you see so many arms and other things in the hands, see Ramachandra, always you will be holding a bow and arrow. What is that idea? He has no other work, you will be always holding a bow and arrow and quiver. You should be always having that. That means he is ready to protect you. The Lord comes down here to destroy the wicked and protect the good. So it shows that when you supplicate, when you worship the Lord, when you are doing good deed and you are righteous, the Lord will always protect you. That is the idea of holding all those weapons. So here, the Divine Mother holding all these things in her 10 hands, that means she is all powerful, she is all capable. The English term for that is omnipotent. Then she is having 3 eyes. What is this 3-eyed? Who can perceive, know, and is one with the relative existence, perceivable by the 2 normal eyes and also conceivable by mind, gross, subtle and causal, any aspect of this universe and thing pertaining to the 3 states of our living beings and the transcendental existence, the absolute reality perceivable even in the Turiya state of the jivas with that 3-eye. Gnana Chakshu, eye of the knowledge. Now, she is adorned with beautiful ornaments. What is that? Why does God need any ornament? Adorned with ornaments on all the limbs means who presents and pervades the universe and all living beings as Mother. Nature radiating beauty, peace, love, bliss, perfection and purity. Now you got the meaning of why Mother, what is she representing? What are the qualities the Divine Mother is representing? You have got an idea and inkling. So the same with any other gods or goddesses. If you see so many hands, so many this thing, they are representing some quality, meditating on which those qualities we have to imbibe. That infinity, to show that where they are taking us to that infinite strength, infinite knowledge, infinite work can be done. All that thing is being shown there. That is the idea behind having so many heads, so many hands, so many weapons and all that thing. So and luminous like blue jewel, who is pure consciousness, Shuddha Chaitanya, and attracts all the living beings, that is all of us, towards herself, and whom Brahma, the creator, extolled in order to destroy Madhu and Kaitaba, the two demons, when Vishnu was in mystic sleep. That is the Deem Shiraha Shankam Sandhadatim Karaistrinayanam Sarvanga Bhushavratam Yam Hantum Madhukaita Bhau Jalaja Bhustushtava Supte Harau Neelashmadyutimasya Pada Dashakam Seve Mahakalikam. So you can see in the verses, it is so much of thing I explained now, all that is hidden in this just verse. So when you chant or meditate this verse, what is happening? You will see in your within, that eyes, inner eyes, the form of the divinity. Whichever gods or goddesses, if you chant that meditation verse, then you will start picturizing all those beautiful quality, and it is easy for meditation. All that qualities can be picturized there. That's why it's called the meditation verse. Now we have come to study or understand what is this meditation verse, and also the form of the Divine Mother Mahakali. Now let us go into the first chapter, the story of the first chapter. We have 10 more minutes. I will take you through that story. The whole of this Durga Saptashati has been presented in story form, because if you give too much of philosophy, ordinary people cannot understand. So to attract our mind and then make things understand, the tough philosophy to be understood, the higher things, they will take you through stories. That's why in Puranas and everything you will have lot of stories. So you should read between the lines and get the crux of it, the inner meaning of it. The whole of this Durga Saptashati has been presented in a story form. It is conversation between a sage and two grieving individuals, betrayed and deserted by their own people. This story appears in Markandeya Purana. There are so many Puranas, scriptures. Now, Bhagavata Purana, then Garuda Purana, then so many other Puranas you can get, Shiva Purana, Devi Bhagavatam, Devi Purana. So there are so many scriptures like that. One of them is Markandeya Purana. I have told about this great sage Markandeya. I don't want to go to the details again, that he was a small boy. Then he had the boon, the parents of this Markandeya, Mrukandu, they were sages. They did lot of tapasya to get this child, but what was the boon given by Lord Shiva? You can get either one of them, you have a choice. Do you want a boy, but he will bring you a lot of good name and fame, and also he will be very righteous and very good. Or a boy who will be living long, maybe 100 years or so, but he will be of no use, he will be a dullard, or he will bring bad name to your family, he will not do anything. Then the parents naturally chose a short-lived boy who will be a great personality. But they were worried. As this child grew up, he became such a wise and good boy and did lot of good deeds, and he had so much of devotion to Lord Shiva that when his time came at the age of 16, he was to die. Now at that time he was doing the puja of Lord Shiva with so much of great devotion. When the king of death, that is Yama, came there to take him away, he just embraced Lord Shiva's that linga and he started worshipping. He would never be afraid of that death because he had so much devotion to Lord Shiva. So Yama, he threw his noose to take him away. But at that time, because of his devotion to Lord Shiva, Shiva came down and even killed the death itself and protected this boy Markandeya and gave him the boon that you will live eternally. Not only he took away that boon where he used to die only at the age of 16, and even now, from the Satyuga for thousands and thousands of years, he still lives. So amongst the many eternally living like Hanuman, then Parashurama, Ashwatthama, Markandeya, and that too he has not become old. The boon given by Lord Shiva because of devotion was he will be always youthful, 16 years old. He will never become old, he will never get disease, so he will be a great personality. So that Rishi, Markandeya, has written this Purana. So it's called Markandeya Purana. So now it is a conversation between a sage and two grieving individuals who were betrayed and deserted by their own people. This story appears in Markandeya Purana, wherein the sage Markandeya tells the story to his disciple Krasushtuki Bhaguri to extol the glory, function and Jiva's need of the living beings, the need of Divine Mother for going beyond all limitations, bondages and suffering. As the story runs, these two individuals, one is Suratha, a virtuous and able king who looked after his subjects with justice as his own children and had lost his empire in a battle with unrighteous, greedy kings and was robbed of his wealth and possession by his own evil-minded ministers. Then who was the other person? Samadhi. Who was he? He was an honest, righteous, guiltless, wealthy merchant, a businessman who had been thrown away from his own house, from his own home, by his own wicked children, his own wicked son, and also his own wife, out of greed for wealth. Now, both of them, without finding any place anywhere, they fled away to the forest. Now, in the forest, while they were roaming aimlessly, they happened to reach the hermitage of sage Medhas. There was an ashram there. The sage there was Medha or Medhas. So they went there, sage Medhas. Despite of the peace, bliss and beauty-filled atmosphere of the hermitage, their minds were creating havoc within. Wherever you go, whether you go to Himalayas, whether you go to the forest, whether you go to the cave to meditate, what do? You carry your mind. So whatever is in the mind will be carrying wherever you go. Now, even though they had come to the beautiful atmosphere of this ashrama, to that hermitage ashram, their minds were creating havoc within, owing, why? To the deep attachment to their kin and possessions which they had been deprived of. They were both surprised. What is this? Our own kith and kin, our own minister, people of our this thing, they deceived us. And this Samadhi was deceived by his own wife and children. But still, yet, why do you have so much of love and attachment to them? What is this secret behind it? Why are we so attached in spite of they deceived us? That was the question arising in their mind. They were surprised about the cause of such an attachment for those ungrateful people who do not want them and the ephemeral worldly belongings which no more belong to them. They were not only attached to the people, those who had deceived them, troubled them, put them into trouble, and also the possessions they had, the kingdom, the money and everything. They together now with this confusion approached the sage Medha to find out the cause and solution for their reasonless, unfair state of mind. Why are we suffering? What is this attachment? Why are we feeling? What is all these things, difficulties? We were so happy then, now suddenly we are in problem. We have to roam here aimlessly in the forest. What is this all happening? What is the truth behind it? So they asked that Medhas. Now the whole of this thing is the story or the teaching of that Medhas, telling what is happening, what is all the thing, why are we getting all these things? So that is Durga Saptashati. That's the story of that Durga Saptashati. It is all in mantras. So if you chant that, if you know the simple meaning, so you can come out of this attachment, you can come out of all the problems, then lead a very high spiritual life. That's why that is chanted. They are all very powerful mantras. Durga Saptashati is very, very powerful mantra. So we will learn it in future all the meaning, simple meaning of the, because I can't go to the detail, then I cannot complete the whole thing at all if I go to the detail of all the things. So we will be very quickly learning the chanting and the simple meaning. Wherever it is required, I'll go to the details. So next time when I come, I have to take you through that concept of time. Maybe it may take 1 hour or so, but let me see how I can explain it to you. The beautiful concept of time in Indian philosophy or Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma. In other this thing, that time concept is linear. Here it is circular. How much of calculation, how much of movement. Now I will take you through one special feature of time, because I have to explain it to you in the next class. Now all of you are aware of time. Anybody, can you explain what is time? Always you'll be having the best watch, maybe Rolex or something, wonderful watch, and you'll be watching the time. Always you'll have a big wall clock in your house. Can anybody explain what is time? I think earlier in some of the class I had explained it. Even then I'm asking you again, what is time? For you to understand time or to know time, it is the gap between two events. Without two events taking place, you will not have any concept of time at all. To make you understand, let us see the smallest event you call second or a millionth of a second or a minute and other things. Have you noticed in your watch there will be two things, needles going on like this. There will be another one moving very fast. That is the second needle. Then there is the minute needle and the hour needle. So that movement event of that second needle going from one place to another place, so that event is happening, movement, event. So the gap between that is called second. Then the other minute needle, when it's going from one unit to another unit, the gap between that time is called time or minute. Then the hour needle from 1 hour to another. So two events should happen. Now how do the older people, when there was no time, they were calculating this time? It was the event of day and night, the movement of the sun, the movement of the moon, the movement of the stars. So there were events taking place, like the weather. You have now the winter has started, then the event, this winter will be over, next it will be rainy season. So events have to take place. So that's how you are calculating time. Now the phases of the moon, it appears there on the sky, it goes on changing its phases, so you calculate time. In our childhood days, we were taught by our seniors how to calculate the time even without the clock. If the sun is at this stage, it is 9 o'clock. If it comes sharp on your head and you don't see the shade of yours, that is 12 o'clock, it doesn't happen here, because we are in the South Pole. So you don't get that concept. I watched here after coming here. At 12 o'clock you don't get that thing here at all, because we were in the northern hemisphere or almost near the equator, so we could get that concept. So at 12 o'clock we could see, if we don't see our shade or that chaya, then that means it is exactly 12 o'clock. So we used to calculate time without the watch in that way. So now event is taking place. So the movement of the earth, the movement of the moon, the movement around the sun, so all these events, weather, the day and night, everything is giving us the concept of time. So there should be two events. So gap between the two events is called time. Now because you are seeing the moon, you are seeing the sun, you are seeing the weather and everything, okay, you are getting the concept of time. Suppose now Tesla and other people are taking you to infinite space. They are making houses, they are getting site in the moon, and they are going to take you to the space. If you give so much of money, they are ready to take in USA. Some people are going to the outer space. Now you are thrown to the outer space. There is no, forget about birth and death. When you go to the infinite space, you are still alive. So, okay, I will give you another this thing. One great saint I had met in Himalayas, her name was Swatmaramanandaji. I don't know whether she's anymore or not. Then itself she was 80 years old. She was living in the Himalayas alone. One lady gave up everything at the age of 18, and she was doing tapasya, great devotee of Lord Krishna. she was living in Tapovan, border of China, and this thing in the Himalayas. So always 360 days it will be ice. So she had a kutir, a hut. So when she would stay there in the winter, the door and the whole hut will be covered by 2 meters of ice, because it is minus 60, minus 50 degrees, minus 40 degrees. So 2 meters of ice will be covering her door. If she has to come out, she had to take a pickaxe or something and beat the ice block like stone, which would be like stone, carve it and come out. If she comes out, it may be night, it may be day. So 6 months she will be there. Now, what is night, what is day for her when she is in this thing meditating? Where is the question of time? She lost the sense of time at all. That's why you get confused if you are traveling from America to this place, and on the flight, there you will start at 6 o'clock, and if you come here it is still 6 o'clock. That's called jet lag. You get confused because everything is confusing. Time sense is lost. You will be confused. So if you are thrown to infinite space, you don't see any event happening. Then that's why our rishis and munis started calculating based on the movement of stars. That's a moment, that's why they were known to our sages, the great sages, the movement of the galaxy, the movement of the Milky Ways. So the time goes on expanding and expanding. So now you have got a basic idea of time. So in the next class, I will try to explain. It may be too confusing, and also your heads may start reeling if you hear all that concept. But see, thousands of years back, our rishis and munis had all the concept of this moment of stars, moment of sun, in perfect. Whatever now they calculate the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, whatever the great scientists are doing to the second and the minute in our astrology, and our rishis and munis and our great astrologers are telling you exact time of the eclipse. How is it possible? Exact time of the movement of the stars and everything they used to predict. It is still being done. Whatever that might be, let us have this concept of time, and in the next class I am going to take you through our Hindu or the Sanatana Dharma, the Vedic concept of time. Concept of time. For that I gave you a little inkling of what is time. You got a little idea of what is time. So with this concept, let us move to the next class. So we shall end our conversation and our session of discussion on the Divine Mother with one stotra.